Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of the SpaceBar Podcast. It's a podcast where me, Nathan, Eric, and Kyle get together every week and just talk about whatever's on our mind. So, like I said, this is our first episode, so this is new to all four of us. And whenever you start something new, the beautiful thing about starting something new is that there's learning opportunities everywhere. You get to learn about stuff. Now, we did kind of record an episode 0, if you will, where we were able to kind of test things out and see how things would work. Luckily, the other three guys were able to get things down and keep them as they were. I took it upon myself to try to better my setup and added a noise gate. Turns out that noise gate is way too high, and anytime I'm talking longer than 5 seconds, my audio just cuts out. So my audio's fucked in this episode. So I just wanted to let you, the viewer or listener, know that just basically be straight up, be upfront, and let you know this episode's not as great as it could have been. Because honestly, I really like this episode. I liked what we talked about. I liked the pacing, and I like to see us grow from here. But I hindered us. And I want to apologize to you and at least let you know what's going on. Please enjoy this episode for what it's worth. We will be releasing more from here on, and obviously it will be better than what is on display here today. I would like to let you know that me and Nathan are in the same room. Actually, his setup's right behind me. He's not there. Oh, look, nobody's here. You could do what I'm doing during editing this video right now and basically just use his audio to hear what I'm saying. It's asking a lot of you, but it's just a little tip, a little hack that you can do. But please enjoy this episode, and we really appreciate it. You know, if you just listen to it, we appreciate it more. If you finish it, we appreciate it even more if you come back next week whenever we release our next episode with better audio. I promise. So, please enjoy the episode. Thanks, guys.
I got onto Tourette's TikTok today, and it's super interesting.
I've been on Tourette's talk for a hot minute, bro.
Bro,
Not to just kind of open with a cold cut with you, but are we starting right now to overdo it?
Yeah, we're recording, and we counted down.
What's up, guys? Welcome to SpaceBar Podcast, where we talk about dumb shit, period. We talk about everything from the next Marvel movie coming out to your favorite local beer. Whatever you want to talk about, what we're here for. I'm Eric.
I'm Drew.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Kyle. That zip in the background.
Almost broke my glasses.
Oh.
But so, Tourette's TikTok. I'm on Down syndrome.
Probably, yeah.
I'm only on
No,
Bus
only
It
if they say
Down
something
Syndrome
negative.
TikTok.
Honestly, I feel like it's positive when, people like that get empowered.
I mean,
Oh, for sure, but some of it also feels highly questionable. It's like, sometimes it's like the person doesn't seem in on the joke, and that makes me feel bad.
Yeah. There's one that, like, sells her
I didn't know it was a third party.
we're profiteering off of people.
Well, no, like, it's her mom. Yeah, her mom and her, like, they make and sell shirts and, like, has, like, the word range of, like, yeah, she had to do speech therapy for years, and she, like, all that is high, and
For a second there, I thought you said her and her mom make self. Yeah, way to corner the market there.
It's a small niche.
But
Imagine.
that reminded me,
What's-
I was watching TikToks. Pulling down. FK Jr. I was like, you know what I should do? Like, they buy.
it would fly off the shelves.
Bro, on God.
It
Oh,
would
for
fly
sure.
off the shelves.
Especially if you attached your actual face to it. They're like, we got one!
Exactly. Because, like, they like if you like watching their clips, they wear, like, some of, like, the most, like, generic Facebook.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen Corporate?
Spacebar QAnon merch coming to you.
Bro.
Imagine, bro.
What'd you say, Kyle?
What is corporate?
There's a show on Paramount Plus called Corporate. I don't know what it aired on originally, but it's very workaholics vibe, except instead of like low level entry, it's like high level corporate
I think
satire, and one
That
of the
sounds like that could-
episodes that is pretty early on is them selling merch to people protesting their corporation
right.
outside of their corporation, like.
That'd be so.
Like
Playing
basically
chess
like
in 4D.
fuck-face business shirts, right? Being produced by the big business and sold to the protesters outside of the corporation. It just
Smart.
reminded me of that. It was hilarious.
I mean,
It's funny.
what's-
That sounds like a good show.
Wasn't that literally like Trump's whole spiel? Like all of his "Make America Great Again," and like all of his merch was made in China. It's like literally
Oh,
a
definitely.
Paramount
Yes.
show on what Trump with all the merch.
Facts.
Yeah. But I think I saw that same video of the dude standing outside, like by the grassy knoll or whatever. And like the longer the video went on, I was like, no shot that like these people are like it's only going to be a couple of people. And then he turned to the camera and it was a literal like a massive
Hundreds,
crowd
yeah.
of people. I was like, holy shit.
Like,
So I
I
only know
think
like
the most-
snippets of the story. Can someone break down like? Because I know that there's QAnon, and I know they're on the grassy knoll in Dallas, Texas, right? But like, can you explain their thought process of what they're doing?
So, long story short, QAnon is still going at that base. JFK Jr. died in 1990.
Yes, 99.
That he's coming back to Trump as president, and that he's going to be his vice president. Going to take over. So they were all
Solid.
waiting there for JFK Jr.
Yeah.
to show up as the Messiah of QAnon.
Who is also a Democrat.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I was about to say. There are two huge ironic things about that. One is that JFK Jr. Two, they're all waiting for him where his father got his head blown.
Right.
How does that even make?
They,
Like that's gonna be the spot
even
that
ha-
if he were to fake his death, he'd be like, actually,
I mean,
This seems
they
like
were
a
even
great
wearing
spot.
like shirts that had a Q, and like, inside the like circle part of the Q, like him whenever he was like, "That's Phoenix." Dude, and I was just like, it's all morbid, bro.
I thought you were gonna say it was like the inside was like a crosshair with JFK's face on it.
I was thinking the Eminem kill shot
Imagine it's just
cover.
Lee Harvey
Right.
Oswald's face right in the middle of the queue.
My friend's grandpa took that picture of him getting shot, the one where he's like, ugh.
Oh, Levi Oswald.
That's crazy.
By Jack
Yeah.
Ruby, right?
Yeah,
You know, a relative of a. Yeah, I did not know that.
yeah.
Kudos to you. man.
Drew's met it's Austin. You
Oh,
met him.
yeah, Austin's cool.
Yeah, he's
crazy.
a super fun guy. I don't think I've met anybody that doesn't like him.
Those are the best time of people. But
For
I
sure.
feel like you never
Like
get
the
to
golden
see them that
retrievers.
often, right?
Facts.
So
Yeah.
like you always have that one friend that like everybody loves and he's super awesome, but you see him like once a year, right? And then you got
Tanner.
like your shitbag friends like you guys that I have to see every day.
Every fucking
Fortunate.
day with you guys.
Bro, I literally met him
regret
once.
it.
Met him once and saw him again constantly.
Yeah. Good times.
It's
He
an
is.
unfortunate series of events for sure.
Facts.
That would be.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So this is technically our first episode. So I feel like a little history behind podcast got started, or maybe how all be every day. I don't really know how to.
Solid segue.
All right.
So I don't even really know where to start because, like, at the tippy top of the Kyle was at.
That is fair. So
Facts.
how did you even start working or going to Rusty's, Kyle?
So, Rusty's is a pool hall, right? A place where you play billiards, right? And so I started going there because I wanted to play billiards. Little cause and effect, you know, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So that was
That's
probably
Best way to hit your ball.
2010, right?
Damn.
Was it 2010?
And is when I started going to Rusty's. When I started becoming a patron, right? Because I was playing pool a lot with my buddy Alex Camacho, right? And so I was spending a lot of time there. I couldn't drink. This is a place that serves alcohol but allows you to be in there when you're 18 and up, right? I did smoke cigarettes, and back in the day, you could smoke. For your younger generation, you should be able to smoke real cigarettes, not electronic cigarettes, inside of buildings.
Wild
Wait,
So
times.
inside.
super interesting. Little tidbit of history for you there.
Hey, it could be.
Oh yeah, well
Yeah.
that's state by state. That's
is it?
in
Oh,
Texas?
is it?
Yeah. It's
I know most states are doing it though.
Texas has moved it from 18 to 21, but not everybody did, I don't think. But basically, I just spent a lot of time there, and eventually I lost my old job, which was I was working for Rudy's Barbecue, which is a barbecue joint in Texas, right? So I was working there, cutting meat, right? Going to school at the local community college, doing your normal hood rat shit right after high school. And so I was like, yo, working in a bar would be cool, right? That's everything I want out of life. I want to drink. I want to be sociable, all right? I want to smoke cigarettes. I want to stay up all night, right? This place was also open 24 hours a day, oddly enough. So that's pretty interesting. It was the only place in Texas,
Yeah.
I think, at the time.
Yeah.
That was open 24 hours a day, right? That served
Or
alcohol.
maybe one or two, something like that.
They got grandfathered into the license, right? So they couldn't sell alcohol all night, but they could sell until 2 and then remain open 24 hours out of the day. So I got that job. I think I started in August of 2011, right? Right before I turned 21, which was in January of 2012, right? And then I'm not sure. Drew was the next one into the story, and I'm not sure when he started going, so I'll let him pick up.
So, fresh off a Hot Topic. All right, I just got let go of Hot Topic. As you can, I don't know, if you're watching the video, kind of tell you. Topic. I don't have my.
Maybe explain what Hot Topic is.
Yes,
just in case.
Hot Topic is a clothing established back in. It's a retail store. I think everybody knows. Maybe Amish,
Like most people these days.
but I don't think
I
they'd
would
be
say
listening
that,
to our
I would say
podcast.
that I would say
Anybody
Gen-
who's been to a mall.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I would say Gen Zers is not really a mall thing anymore.
Well, yeah,
right?
but
you order.
they
off
have
Amazon
TikTok.
they have an online store.
Prime. Yeah, maybe they have a website.
Uh,
Maybe just take a poll. If you've never heard of Hot Topic,
Can you
comment in the section below.
Yeah, comment in the section below. But
Name or age, and if you know about Hot Topics.
ASL?
no, I think that means something completely different.
Yeah. American Sign Language.
American Sign
That's-
Language?
That's literally
It's
a class.
I thought it was a slang thing.
No, it is. It
Yeah,
is.
I don't
It's
know
a-
what it is.
Or no, before it was like a chat room thing in like the 90s.
No,
AOL
I
chat
know what
rooms.
ASL is for my
I
generation.
feel like it was a chat room thing up until like 2013.
Oh, really?
I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
We're getting sidetracked, but I'm just gonna Google ASL Urban Dictionary because I'm pretty sure millennials.
Ass sucking lips.
Everything. Oh,
Okay.
it's on TikTok as hell.
Oh, as hell.
Yeah, it is
What?
as
Okay.
hell. I don't
No.
know. Gen Zers, bro.
Hey, bro,
Did you see that they replaced the emojis?
Damn Zoomer.
You can't use the laughing crying face emoji. That's a boomer thing.
Oh
We're
yeah,
boomers.
I saw that.
What?
Like,
Supposed to use the skull and crossbones or the.
yeah, because you're laughing till you're dead.
Bro, I'm dead on the inside. I don't need.
Yeah, that's a whole different meaning for millennials.
Right.
But I stopped working at Hot Topic and I started going to Rusty's like 2012 or 2000. I started. And first interaction I ever had with Kyle was I had a sandwich bag full of, and we went good smoke inside Rusty's. There was a non-smoke side, so we were on the non-smoking side. We're playing I think comment.
I think it was
Isaiah. Okay.
No, was it? There's no way it was Isaiah
Well,
with his like age.
he was in
I guess
non-smoking.
it was if it was before.
And
yeah,
it was daytime.
And it was daytime.
fair.
I think he's working. Anyway, so we're playing pool. The buff Mexican walks up from behind the bar, and he's just, "Hey man, I just want some Dr. Pepper," because Kyle felt bad for us, so he got us drinks.
Pity.
It was pity 100%. I was like, "Oh hell yeah, fuck yeah, dude." And then I would go up to Rusty's. usually at night, as it was at a place or hang out like at 2 o'clock in the morning, go smoke cigarettes and just. And then eventually, merchants paid for my THC. Then I started.
Hey. So I was actually dating somebody. I was living in Austin at the time. It was like 2013, 2014, somewhere in there. I was dating a girl that still lived here in the DFW, and one of the times that I came to visit, she was like, "Hey, I met these dudes at Hot Topic when I went to my friend's interview with her." And my first thought was just like, "Oh, okay." She was like, "We're gonna go all hang out with them," and I was like, "All right." And then I was introduced to Drew and our other friend Thomas, as well as Drew's friend. I want to say his name was Taylor. That dude, that dude was a character.
Eagles fan.
Yeah, he was an Eagles fan, but I don't want to claim him for a plethora of reasons. But yeah, so I got introduced to him, to Drew and Thomas that way, and I think it was probably like the first night that we hung out. They mentioned this place, Rusty's, that like I had always driven past. Always thought it was like an empty abandoned building just because the windows have the tint on the sides, so you can't see through anything. I'd been to the bowling alley that's in the same parking lot, but I'd never been to Rusty's before, so we went in there and I was like, "Oh, this place is super sick, open 24 hours," like the other fella said, and it was just that kind of place where it's like, yeah, it's my sleep schedule is fucked up anyways, so it's perfect to just go spend that time hanging out with people instead of just like laying in my bed and just chilling by myself or something. But eventually I started working there after my ex-girlfriend at the time had started working there, and me and Drew were becoming better friends. My first interaction with Kyle, I was sitting in the corner of our bar, and I had a very similar. Actually, my experience wasn't as pleasant as Drew's, but that's all in my head. I was looking up, and I just kept seeing this, who I also at the time thought was Mexican. Kyle is Korean. This dude, half Korean. I just saw this dude staring at me, and I was like, "What the fuck is his problem? What did I do?" Nothing. He was just doing his job. I was a child in a bar. I had to make sure that I wasn't being a hood rat. But yeah, eventually I also started working there. Like a lot of our regulars did, to be honest. Most of our staff like consisted of people that were regulars there before they worked there. But eventually the three of us became pretty tight friends, and were introduced to another group of friends that worked at a hookah lounge who were friends with Eric.
Crazy intertwined the people are
It
with this
really,
group.
It really is.
100%. Because that's what I did. Like whenever I first turned 18, we would just go to shisha every night. And that's what I did. I was at shisha probably I was probably there 5 times a week. While I was dating, minutes away from it. So it would be like 7 p.m. We would have dinner with her parents, and be like, she. I also smoked cigarettes, and you died there. So
Big
that was the
draw.
thing. Go smoke hookah,
That was just a
smoke cigarettes.
law in Arlington.
Yeah,
Literally.
100%. It was. So, I mean, as soon as I turned 21, though, I was kind of done the hookah lifestyle. The girl that I was dating, we had broken up. So I randomly just happened to like know somebody who was going to Rusty's, and I was like, yeah, I could go there. And then I got there, and I met wonderful faces and got hammered. And that became my new weekly routine.
Daily.
Daily,
Weekly.
yeah.
I used to go, like, I would work I worked like 30 minutes away from it, and I had to pass it kind of on my way home. So if there was traffic every day, I told myself, like, traffic, I can just go to Rusty's and I'll wait out the traffic. It's like 6 p.m. I'll be there for about an hour. So I would go to Rusty's.
Get at least
there was
one free
traffic.
drink.
Yeah, I'd get one free drink. I'd sit down. More people that we knew would pile in, and then like 2 in the morning, I'm like, damn, I should read home.
And
pretty late.
It was like our own little version of Cheers.
it really
to be
was
honest.
because
Just a lot
I
more
remember
deranged.
I remember when I first turned. It was like Kyle and his buying pictures, and like at that moment, I realized like, well, at least like at the bar, I know everybody knows who I am. It really was like a cheat, which made it
Yeah.
worse because it became complacent, and then Rusty's black hole that's like,
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
like
Facts.
you're just like, oh, I'll just go to Rusty's. I know every. Right.
Yeah, and that was like a huge downside of it being open 24 hours
Yeah.
as well. It's like you would spend 8 hours working there and then you'd get off and your friends or regulars showed up at the end of your shift. So you're like, well, now it's time for me to have fun and get hammered on the other side of the bar with my new friends. And then our new bartender that came in can't leave him hanging in the wind. So you end up spending like 15 hours a day there.
And half of
Dude.
what you made work.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's,
It was,
it was the best of
I
times. It
never
was
had
the
the
worst of
opportunity
times.
to work there.
I don't think it was an
for
opportunity.
sure. I wouldn't
it was
trade
just-
the
yeah.
most of the experiences for the world, but I am glad I am no longer in that world myself.
And like, I mean, because it was fun. Like being a bartender is fun. I like constant whenever we go out or. Then I think I'm like bartending, just being a delinquent because I'm pretty sure as I miss
Yeah.
getting drunk every night. 90%
Yeah.
of my drinks are free.
For sure. Yeah, I'd say the same thing. It's like, do I miss being bartending or do I miss being able to get hammered while I'm working? Because sometimes with those people, you just gotta get drunk about it.
Yeah, it's super nice. And the 90% just people buying you drinks. You know, that's how you
Yes.
get all your drinks for free. People buy them for you.
They buy it.
Yes.
So that's super.
It's like
dope.
being a pretty girl, but different.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, also,
I don't know. In a lot of situations, it's the same. You remember the nurse group? Like,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah.
so, you know,
Good times.
I didn't have any.
Yeah, they would come like,
it was kind of an employee thing. You kind of had to be an employee, right, to understand that aspect of it. But yeah, they were there pretty close to twice a week, right?
but you also had your shitty groups. Like
Whoever the 6 to noon was,
It was Casey.
After,
Carson?
Casey
me,
ruined the nurses for us.
I did meet the G.
They were, yes.
but not the nurses, the GMC people.
The
Yeah,
nurses were fantastic.
I did not foster that relationship. It was someone that worked the morning shift after me.
think it was
I never
Sam.
dealt with the GMC.
It was
people.
Sam.
It might have been Sam.
or Kenny.
In any of them, but
No, definitely not kidding.
it was post me. No, Kenny was a good bartender.
No, I know. Just for not that group of people, I feel like was Kenny's cup of tea.
I don't know. I feel like
What GMC?
those are.
I'm thinking about the black group of people.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had a bunch of like redneck GMC people coming in there.
I think you're not thinking of the Fox people.
Might be thinking of the
Fox people. Kyle, are you fur? I don't remember any furries coming into Rusty's head.
No. Fox. Yeah, like,
Fun fact: furries did come into my shift once. Yeah, don't say that. It
I
was.
mean, Sora was in there. all the
I
time.
mean, I'm not here to kink shame
I-
by any means. Everybody likes what they likes, but
I have a
I'm
friend.
drawing the line somewhere.
I have a friend who is a furry, and he got back from a convention. He wasn't in it. He's at we're in. Like, hey, my buddy Drew works at Rusty's. Make him uncomfortable. Let's go up. And they walked in, and I was just like, "What are you doing here? What's going on?
Hey, buddy.
Don't act like you know me. What's up? What can I get you, man?
ID,
You
please.
got your IDs, bro? You know how many nightmares I have about like having to work at Rusty? Like I like work, and I'm like, I guess I have to work. I actually had a dream. I'll both have to start working.
I think I've had that dream
Kyle.
before.
Yeah.
I don't think
have.
I don't think I had to. I think it was like, yo, it's an emergency. We just need you to check IDs.
Oh yeah. Mine's,
Like,
Right.
mine's usually when I go up to the computer and I do it. Rose
making
there.
drinks.
That's
Don't know how to. I'm like,
yeah. That's
don't know what to do with my hands.
worse. It's a horrible night. Fucking horrible.
Mine's just the customers overall having to deal with them.
I don't know. I would say 75% of the people I dealt with when I worked there, I enjoyed. Right. 25
I
is a big
enjoyed
number, but
majority of the regulars. It was the scragglers that, like, we had some rough randoms come in where it's just like,
True.
oh
I mean,
my God.
everybody here remembers.
Actually, I would say mine is probably having to deal with Rose. That
Rose
is-
was a tough one. That
Oh
was
my
a
God! I
tough
like
one.
every now and then a video of her like bugging patrons will pop up in my Snapchat memories, and like I can't tell you how many times I had random customers come up to me and like, "Hey, who's this fucking old lady asking me to buy her drinks?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry about that, Rose. What are you doing?"
But
Yeah,
for those
it
of
was-
you, for those of you listening, watching, Rose was, I would assume, mid-60s, 70-year-old woman, leather skin.
Like the people you see on the boardwalk that are old,
Yeah.
like in California,
Like-
that's what she looks
But she's
like.
been
It looks like
dazzled.
somebody left her in a pool and then like everything just got crazy wrinkly.
They immediately threw her in the
Got out and
dryer.
Got dried. Yeah.
No, a tanning bed.
Yeah.
It was-
The wrinkles stayed. She was pruned, but now she's tanned.
Yeah. They threw that bitch in an air fryer.
Maybe if we're gonna edit this
Practice
video,
right up.
Nathan can send me a video of her posted here, and you'll see what she
Yeah.
looks.
I was thinking about the editing
Um,
process while we're like breaking the fourth wall, but I was remembering that all of our voice recordings are individual, right? So if we do talk to each other, you can always just dampen that.
Yeah, I
Right.
plan on
If one person obviously has better context going on, right, you can just dampen the person that's less important, right? And because
Well, we're all important, Kyle.
like it would
First of all.
be impossible like if we were like when we do single room podcasts,
Right.
But at
For
this
sure.
point,
No,
you
you-
can just isolate any.
We're just gonna go ahead and dampen Kyle right now.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and turn them all the way down.
You know what? Kyle's got a blurry face. You know.
Yeah.
Get
But
my
also, yeah,
Impractical Jokers
Rose
on.
was like high 60s. Honestly, that'd be hilarious if she was like, I'm 40.
I don't think she was that old. I think she was like 60s.
Yeah, she was. I don't think she was like crazy old either. I think she just did not age very gracefully.
Probably did a lot of drugs.
She definitely seemed like she would have been like a blast in like the 60s or 70s. Like seemed like she definitely would have been a good time. But she's still kind of living that lifestyle. She would just come in all the time and harass random customers and like do this weird drunk like white girl dance. And like try to, it's honestly I guess just like a weird mating dance. Never worked. Constantly just had random customers being like, this lady just walked up to our table and started asking us to buy her drinks, and it's just like, yeah, she thinks she's got it like that. I don't know why. I'm sorry about that.
Getting queued on.
Oh, 100%. No way she didn't vote for Trump. She probably isn't even able to vote. Or even if she does, I could definitely see her being like, fuck the government, they're all lizard people.
I feel like she definitely has a felony under her belt.
For sure.
But
I do also feel like Rose fits her to a T as a name. Not because like she's beautiful by any means, but like,
She did look like the old lady from the Titanic.
yeah,
Thorny?
like she's got such an old vibe to her that you're like, yeah, she looks like a Rose. She doesn't look like she has.
You know
a
what she
current
looks
name.
like was an extra from a Toby Keith music video.
Facts.
100%.
I mean,
Like who's your daddy?
She low key. This is like kind of mean, but like she low key looked like Jack Nicholson's Two-Face from the Batman movie, but like the Two-Face half.
That's not a terrible comparison.
or she just looked like Mick Jagger. Pretty. I mean, I feel like
I mean,
like now.
tan is like
Yeah.
one step away from purple, right?
Right? Yeah.
I don't even.
It's like if Steven Tyler and Mick Jagger had a love child now.
Who's Steven Tyler?
would- He's.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of.
rough
Steven Tyler. Yeah, Steve.
Well, Mick Jagger is also wild looking as well.
Mick Jagger's like 80s.
It's so crazy that those dudes are still alive. Like,
Jagger looks like
Paul
elbow.
moves like Mick Jagger for nothing, you know.
You know who looked
Facts.
the worst? Like, may he rest in peace. Was Prince, whoever. I can't remember their names specifically because they're all just white dudes. But like the Prince that just recently died, he literally
looked like he died 3 months before.
Before he died, Prince Philip.
Yeah, is it Philip?
Yeah.
Yes.
He
Yeah,
looked
there's
like
a
he
pexture of him
died
sitting in a car.
Weeks
Yes.
before he died, bro.
Man,
That
looked like
was
a wax
rough.
statue.
Weekend at Bernie's. Fucking.
They just weren't
Weekend
ready
at
to drop
Buckingham
the
Palace.
news yet.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
at a
for sure.
photo of him. He taxi version. Is that right? Taxi version?
Yeah.
Taxi.
Yeah,
You said it right. You just,
It's like
the inflection was a little bit weird. Taxidermy.
Taxi.
It's
like a taxi.
Southern brother. I was trying to Google him, but I literally was thinking of him and almost Googled taxidermy.
Still pop up.
Prince Philip popped up.
Yeah, I was about to say like it would have
It's
been
actually the top results. Wild.
1.3 million.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, that man looks like a Bond villain at the end, and like, that's wild. Or he kind of reminds me of Darth Vader in the third one when his helmet's off, or in the.
After the lava.
Did y'all see
Yeah.
the the Aliens prequel?
Prometheus.
Like, the guy, yeah, he looked like the guy who was dead, but like wasn't really dead at the end. He was trying to
Oh,
find
yeah.
the suit. Yeah, they brought him out.
What does he look like young?
What was? Are we all agreeing that? Regular.
No shot.
I don't know. We got robbed by regulars, didn't we?
We got robbed by employees. Probably.
I am not here to confirm or deny that.
I don't know, man. There's so many. Like, I don't want to.
We're calling people.
Fuck it, I'll name names. I don't give a
It
shit.
has to- look, all things
there's
aside, it's got to be a
so
pool
many
player that was the worst regular.
For sure.
No shot.
For
Like
sure.
Rose sucked, but like,
Dave was awful.
yeah, the dude literally pissed in a bucket in his van.
Facts. I remember he asked.
I'm sorry,
if he
hold on,
could
hold on.
use-
What?
We had a guy who was a pool hustler, which basically means that he was homeless and he lived out of his van
In the
and
parking
he,
lot.
in the parking lot, right? Well, in any parking lot that had a pool hall, right? He would move his home around.
He got barred from our parking lot at some point.
And he got busted one time because he had a 5-gallon bucket, like a Home Depot bucket, like you mix cement in, right, with the top on, with a hole cut on, that he was essentially using as a restroom inside his 1-bedroom van apartment. Honestly, hashtag van life before it was cool.
Hashtag man life.
Facts, yeah, he was
shot.
a fucking pioneer.
Yeah, he earned that shit.
He was a peculiar dude. One time he asked me if he could use. We had a 2-cup Pyrex measuring cup behind our bar for. I think we used it to make Jello shots or something.
Facts,
And
100%.
he asked if he could use it to heat up his soup, and I was like, "Yeah, you live in a van. Least I could do is let you use our microwave. Go for it, man." Couple minutes later, I hear the microwave go off. I'm making a drink. I look over. He's sitting at the end of the bar, holding the Pyrex like a mug, just drinking his soup. It's like, Dave,
Good soup.
It's not a lot.
do you
It's
bring
good
a bowl?
Good soup.
Yeah, good
Honestly,
soup,
being
yeah.
a millennial is just slowly moving toward homelessness, but making
Facts.
it look cool. Oh, like,
Yeah.
I can't afford a house. Let's live in a van, but you know, we'll make a
It's-
social
yeah.
media about it.
It's
Homeless
wild.
chic.
Like 20 years ago, living in a car, like you're getting shamed
Yeah,
by
leave
everyone
it-
you know. That's
leave it-
disgusting. I can't even believe you would do that. But now, we're renovating this 2002 bus that was used by the school district for 15 years, and it's gonna look beautiful. It's gonna look better than your current home.
Leave it to millennials.
Even
to
like,
gentrify being poor.
Yeah, make the best of it.
have you
Facts,
ever seen
bro.
those? I can't remember what it's called, but they like make stealth, like stealth vans, I guess. Like they hide
Yeah.
in urban areas and they off of like Wi-Fi and stuff.
Oh, word.
yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Not the FBI. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like
The government.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's essentially
Yeah,
like
that is the DEA.
the van life, but instead like
Yeah.
you try to do it in very public areas, like a normal ass truck with trailer
I've seen
cover.
that, but I haven't seen them going as far as to like try to steal public Wi-Fi and stuff like that. Because like I completely understand the like making your van look innocuous. Like if I was gonna live in my van, I don't want it to look like I live in my van.
I think the only
least from the
situation
outside.
I would live in my van is if I worked at Google, right? So I recently stumbled across a TikTok story where this guy's living in his van, but like he parks it on the Google parking lot, and they have personal showers that you can rent. They have a laundromat built into the campus. All of their meals are free, right? They have lounge areas, right? They have like setups where you can like go in. I'm sure like you could like use their computers and internet to like play
Right.
video games. Like literally, like all you would have to do is pay for the van. And he's also a software engineer, so he's making like $300,000 a year. So
Hella
he's just
Got a
money.
nice van.
stacking money, spending $5,000 or $6,000 a year, and he's gonna retire when he's like 40 with like $10 million.
I don't know. Like I see those videos of like people converting a van or like a smaller school bus into like a living type situation, and I think it's really appealing for like long driving vacations. Like, oh, I want
Yeah.
to take off a week from work and I get to tour the country. That's cool. But like living in it full time, I would lose my mind.
I would.
I'd be shitting too much to be living in that small of a space.
Yeah, I think like using it as like if you, I would probably take, but
Oh, for sure.
but like use it for that and then. Or keep it for whenever you plan on doing that again. Maybe go through a
Yeah,
quarter of the
literally
country.
just turn it into like a yearly thing.
Or you can turn it into an
Yo,
Airbnb.
yo.
I
I was
mean,
about to say business idea. Why don't we start up a fucking van life Uber, fucking rent van life pre-made vans that we fucking get fronted and build. You rent them for a week and do whatever, like van life vans.
By the time you've already seen this episode, this has already been trademarked. It's patented, so don't worry about it.
Called Space Bus.
I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, you could just cut that part the fuck out.
SpaceBar's buses.
We get $100,000
SpaceBar Bus.
Space Bus.
loan
Cast.
from the bank.
Yeah.
I feel like that would actually make money.
Right.
Really good.
It would be. Yeah. I mean, it would be. As long as it's like cheaper than
mobile.
renting an RV, for sure.
Like mobile Airbnb.
We could chop the top of the
but
bus,
also,
make
like,
it glass,
I
but
don't
with a cover. That way they can see
tempered
space
glass.
from the countryside.
But I mean, we could
Insurance
have like
with that's
Probably
we could have
expensive.
like tiers, right? We could have like
Like a
And then
U-Haul, like a little.
yeah, like small vans all the way up to like
Bus.
mini school buses. Yeah.
No, that'd be tight.
It'd
You have to
be-
watch out for Brian Laundries.
Man, he's dead. His dad found it.
Yeah. That I'm still like I know they say that he's dead, but I am still unconvinced. Like that cop that he's standing next to looks
Don't be that guy.
and I know
Don't be that guy.
people look alike, but
Also,
like,
it's a terrible photo. Like, it's just a white dude with a scruffy beard. Like, that could have been
guess.
me.
I also-
Like, you
I
just
also,
turned
like-
this down a little bit. I was out in Cali talking to him, or Oregon. Or
Ladies and
whatever.
gentlemen,
I think.
we got him.
to be fair, I wasn't
Brian
as enamored with that case as it seemed like the rest of the world was. Most of the reports that I stopped when they like keeping up with it when they first said that they found remains, and I think some of the reports that I said like they just found like it didn't sound like they had like found a body. They just found like some
Remains.
a notebook and like some remains, and I was like that could be like a
Bones.
finger.
Did they ever get detailed into that? Like,
I think
what-
they found bones.
Because I was like, there's
yeah,
no
but, like-
way that he was out there long enough to be bones.
They were like, oh, there's a lot of alligators out.
Even if we
Then he wouldn't be
say
there.
That he was out there long enough to be bones. Like, we find a femur. Like, did we find a pinky?
Right?
Did
Yeah.
we find a like?
Like, 'cause
I
my-
cut
like,
up
'cause
my
my-
arm right now to not go to prison.
was
for the
bones.
rest of my
Exactly.
first
Yeah, my
thought
first
was-
thought was like, oh, they found bones the first day Daddy went out there. Daddy just threw a thumb somewhere or something and was like, oh, check this weird shit out. Do you think
Right.
this is his?
Got a buddy that works at
Oh.
the work.
Let's just, yeah. Like,
Trying to see it.
Yeah, it was tragic for sure, but
I didn't start following heavy until after, because I honestly 100% with all the hype, I didn't think she was like anything happened to her. Like I figure like they were like a van life thing, like she like got tired, like because she was a social media person, right? So like
Right.
she just got tired of it, like, and because she stopped doing social media all the time, like without a goodbye, like. Immediately everybody thought something bad happened.
Okay.
But
See,
after she was dead, like confirmed dead, I started following her a little bit.
I thought the opposite. Like immediately, as soon as she was missing, and there were weird text messages sent from his phone or from her phone. And I was like, oh, he like 100% killed her. Like case closed. I don't know like what the mystery here is. Like, and then like the police footage came out, and I was like, yeah, he killed her. I don't understand like the parts where they were like, he's refusing to speak to like police officers. I was like, how? How is that allowed? What? Like,
Well, anybody
wild.
can refuse to speak to a police officer.
For sure. No, I mean, I guess when I heard it that way, I assumed it was like he refused in the sense of like the way you refuse to talk to a reporter. You're like walking inside, and you're like, no comment, and like you just go inside.
That is
Like,
what
how
happens.
does nobody like bring him in for questioning?
So
And
I
it's
mean,
like,
you can't bring anybody in for questioning unless you have, like, you can't force anybody to come in unless you charge them.
right. I guess being able to like assume and like make a logical conclusion, like yeah, he definitely did that shit, isn't the same as like having physical evidence to
No, because that's how you get
prove
sued,
that
bro.
he did it.
So the remains that were found were skeletal and says countries cause of death covered only skeletal item. So it literally could have been
It's like,
anybody's
it's the whole
skeleton.
body.
I mean, it could have been.
Nah, because dental records means that his teeth were
like-
So
still
you just-
in the skeleton.
Are you sure?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to have.
Yeah, they do a teeth impression.
That was just like they
Yeah,
found some
they,
teeth.
I've always been very curious on like how they identify a body by like their teeth, because I mean like I know I've been to the dentist, but like say a person like if a person's never been to the dentist, can you not identify them?
you can't.
Yeah,
But
no.
almost
And
everybody
then
does
like
the dentist.
At
is
least
there like
once.
does your dentist like upload shit to like a national database for like
There are
that
doc- It
can be
specific
subpoenaed.
purpose?
Yeah, you just subpoena it.
Yeah.
They keep that data forever.
Medical
Like
record.
I
guess they just
guarantee
go
you,
through
you
your
get teeth
insurance
molds
or-
from when I had my braces when I was 14.
Finance. Okay,
Like-
I guess that makes sense.
Especially now, maybe not 40 years ago, but especially
Yeah.
since the internet age.
It's
Because
digital,
you
yeah.
don't keep like, it's not like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's like
I thought
Right.
it
Oh, I
worked.
thought it
megabyte of
worked
It's not
like
a physical copy
on a
anymore.
hard
It's
disk,
just
on
all
a
yeah,
database.
digital.
I thought it worked like the way like
Hashtag
the,
data.
like blood and like saliva and like semen DNA, where like there's an actual like online database that they search. For
No, even
matches.
still, even that, your DNA is only on record if you've
Right, if you've done
Right, if
something.
you've done something for
if
sure.
you've done
like,
something bad.
That's
right?
like in that situation, like in this scenario, the something I did is go to the dentist. If
No,
that
no,
makes
I'm
sense.
saying that they, if they didn't know it was you, right? They would have to
Right.
check. They would have to go to Brian Laundrie's dentist and be like, "Yo, I need Brian's dental records," right? They didn't just
Right.
take the skeletal.
Here, look at this.
No, no.
I know, I
and
got
be
that.
like, "Oh, search all of VICAP for this teeth."
Right.
Right? They had to know it was him to find
Right.
the dental records to match.
Yeah.
Same
Right.
thing with
Makes
DNA if you aren't already on record, right?
Right.
So if you have an idea of who it is, you can get DNA stuff from any of their doctoral stuff.
For sure, yeah, no, I always just assumed it was like the same database.
I just remember my fingerprints are in the system.
That yeah, so am I.
No. Wait, I have that if you've been.
Military
We've been fingerprinted.
or
I've
yeah
never.
for
Oh, I
concealed
think
carry.
I was a part of like. Well, like I believe in some. Had a cop come by and he just took all of our fingers. Oh, these are what criminals do. Now you're a part of the system. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like
Right.
exactly
Can
what
we
they were doing.
elaborate on that story? A cop came to your house and
No, our
fingerprinted
our
you for
school was our school when I was in elementary.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah,
This game knocked on your door and quick, kid, touch the stuff.
yeah.
Drew Blackman,
Thanks.
I need your fingerprints.
But
Don't ask any questions.
I can't remember if that actually happened or if it's one of those things like your brain. Last time. I feel like that
This is
happened.
even happening right now. simulation, string theory.
No, we're gonna say
100%.
that for another. Not gonna go.
I could talk about that all day. No way this is real life.
So to kind of change the
Better not be, at least.
topics, because we're probably.
I would say as long as something's interesting, we can run on it forever.
Yeah, exactly. Why we're doing.
I do have to pee while you're deciding what's going on.
Oh.
So shy, you're getting up and walking out to pee. You can't wait 15 minutes, you fucking bitch.
Alright, so this is where we're just gonna cut. And Kyle's gonna be there. Alright? Because I'm gonna go get some wine. I'll be right back! Alright, we're back! Everybody's back now. Eric, what were you talking about? Henry Ruggs, the Raiders wide
Yeah, I
receiver?
was, bro. Yeah, I think he was their number 2, right? It's like 22. He went to the bar and got fucking hammered, apparently, and then just decided that if calling an Uber or calling somebody else to pick him up, spending his money wisely, that he's just gonna get behind the wheel of his Corvette and do 157 miles an hour.
And that's crazy. 150 miles per hour.
I mean, it's not that crazy, Nathan.
On this, like on a regular street, like that's pretty nuts, right? Like that's not
In like a
highway
residential
speeds.
area.
Yeah, he was.
like-
Yeah, it wasn't the highway.
wasn't like
right?
a highway,
Vegas has a couple of different highways, like every major city does. But like inner city in Vegas, like there's one highway that runs parallel to Vegas, and
Yeah, they were leaving.
the system
They were
is
leaving a
different.
Topgolf, or they were at a Topgolf earlier in the night. After they left Topgolf, they went to a friend's house, and then they were about 3 miles from his house when he struck the victim. I believe her name was like Tina Tintor. Or Tinter? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Tinson.
Yeah.
But the craziest
That's
thing,
okay.
the craziest thing about that is he plays for a team, and Las Vegas, established. Watching too. It's a very established team, so you would think all that money they probably have like
I'm sure they
available
have
to
to
the
have some
players.
type of shuttle service.
that like
100. It's Vegas. You know, you're going to Vegas. You're going to play for Vegas. You make millions a year, hundreds of thousands. It would be irresponsible of the team to not offer something.
right,
Honestly,
especially being in
Can't
Vegas.
you can't expect everybody to manage their money or manage their time well. Especially, you have these Johnny Manziels and players like that who go out and they get murdered and they whatever, right? Like, it's expected, especially in Vegas. Vegas is 24 hours, a city that never sleeps, and everything is just so readily available.
Like
My
Buffalo.
thing is,
So
right
you
on.
have to think that they have to have something that is rideshare.
So my thing is, the alcohol is definitely a contributor to the choice, right? But
For sure.
I don't think it's him getting drunk in a bar and driving that is the contributor to the death, right? So if he was stone cold sober and driving 160 miles on a residential street, like, he's still killing that chick, right? 100%.
100%.
Like, this isn't him driving 40 and T-boning an older lady because he missed a red light because he was too drunk to have reaction time and missed the red light and went through and T-boned someone driving the speed limit and killed them, right? If he's stone cold sober driving 160 miles an hour on a residential street, right, he's killing somebody.
Yeah, but
That's
you
just
Like-
like
The
the
only-
alcohol makes the decision, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, if he wants to drive 160, like, no rideshare service is gonna fix that, right? He's
Yeah,
not
I
gonna-
saw.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I saw somewhere that said like that wasn't an accident, that was an inevitability.
Yeah,
I was like,
Yeah, that's
like,
a good way to describe it.
They said that the speed which he was going when his airbags deployed was like 120.
yeah.
The
it's
computer take
point
that?
of impact.
Oh,
shot that?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and like
Corvette.
a Corvette.
Corvette.
And then like
I think he's driving a new
one?
Stingray.
yeah, like his girlfriend is.
I saw one
His
either.
girlfriend is quoted as saying like, when he saw the Tina's car in front of him, he like slammed on his brakes and like right before impact was like, "What is this guy doing?" And then
He said going 160 miles
Yeah.
an hour.
yeah, it's like, was he narrating his own life at that moment? Like,
So did he come,
but yeah,
did he
it's,
come out unscathed, basically?
They
Basically,
took
yeah, I
him
don't think
away
he
with
had any
like
broken
serious injuries, but
just
nothing
minor injuries.
critical.
Oh.
What
Minor.
was she driving?
An
What'd you say?
SUV, I think.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, she
a
was driving a
Rav
Toyota
4.
RAV4.
Rav 4.
Was it older?
Doesn't say
Yeah,
what
I
They
year
think
it
even
it
make
was.
was.
those anymore?
Because yeah, like I would say that they are making cars like getting real close to being death proof. Speaking of, have you seen that VW that's never had a fatality? It's
I
like
also don't think that any car out currently would prevent a death at 100.
it prevented his death.
Yeah, but
If he's
that's
in the
different.
RAV4 going 120
I'm
and hits a
talking
Corvette,
about
he's
him.
dead, and she's probably alive.
Maybe because the motor's in the back, but
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously the car played a part in that. Like, I also know that being drunk, like, you don't seize up as much, right? That's like scientific
yeah,
fact. But
100%.
you
Yeah,
know, that there's no way that those like the safety features of the Corvette didn't play a part. If he was hit her going 130.
Yeah.
Also, how fast was she going when she stopped? Like, if she's going 60, right?
I'm sure
that's
she-
really
no, she was turning. So let's say
Probably
she was
going
doing under 25 miles
That's
an
it.
hour. She's making a right-hand turn.
Ooh, I wonder, did she turn from an outside lane?
Yeah,
No,
let's
she-
victim blame here. Let's victim blame.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering. Look, if I'm in a turn lane, I'm driving, and someone's driving. He hit her from behind, right?
Didn't he run a red light?
That's what I assumed. I don't know.
He hit her from
But
behind,
I think
he hit,
anytime
like,
I
the
hear
back
car
right
accident-
corner of her car. So like it's all dented in from the right side in.
I had a fucking Final Fantasy experience not too long ago, like 8 months ago. I was driving to work, right? And so like I'm driving on the freeway, so I'm going like 75, 80, and the car in front of me drives over a piece of wood or a piece of metal, and it flings it up, hits my windshield dead in the center of my face, and goes through the windshield just enough to make a small pencil-sized hole. Right, so it's like I don't know if
Jesus.
it's like the angle of the projectile or anything, like maybe the way that it flung. If it had been different, bro, that was coming straight through my windshield and impaling.
That is
me.
literally
Drew.
one of my.
Drew will put a picture up.
Yeah.
Of, the stuff.
That's one of my
Yeah.
biggest fucking fears driving. Like somebody driving a tire just becoming like a baseball or football launcher and just shooting it.
That happened to Emily and I, like,
Ugh.
probably within the first year and a half of our relationship. Driving from Dallas to go see my mom. We're on 30, like, right in front of the ballpark. And someone drives over something metal, and it breaks on impact on her Jeep, and it hits dead center, like right in the middle of the grill. And one piece goes under, because I heard it, and one piece goes over, 'cause it, like, scuffed the top. And that caused $8,000 worth of damage. Void her trans.
That is insane.
I got super lucky. Go. Or you have a story too? Go. I'll tell my second
Oh,
story in a second.
no. Mine is just I got T-boned and broke my hip.
You should definitely put that video up. You should definitely send them that video.
Yeah, I am crazy lucky that I even got a video of it. So, for the listeners that don't know, a couple of years ago, like Kyle, I was on my way to work at Rusty's actually to go check IDs,
Am I living with you?
and I'm not sure, but I was driving through an intersection, and as I was going through the intersection, I see this SUV or this truck in front of me that is trying to like make a turn coming my direction, in a left-hand turn. And so my light is green. I'm going through it, and I'm thinking, well, surely this person is going to stop. Well, the closer we get, I realize, no, this person is not going to stop. It turned out to be a 16-year-old girl with no license, and she had her small sister in the front seat. But we made eye contact like right before impact. I was able to swerve out of the way enough to make it not a head-on collision, but they did T-bone my driver's side door and threw my car across the street. Basically, the fire department came out with the jaws of life, cut me out of there, and I was in the hospital for about 4 or 5 days with a fractured hip and a fractured pelvis, the sacrum and the acetabulum to be specific.
Get it? You watch Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Get it? You watch Grey's
Yeah.
Anatomy.
That was okay. I should have said that to my doctor when he came in with the X-rays. It was like, okay, Meredith, Calm down.
Isn't that Sex in the City?
No, it's Meredith Grey,
Meredith
Kyle.
Grey, she's like the.
I never watched.
Yeah, me either.
Grey's
Okay,
He's a
Kyle,
boomer.
we're off
I'm
this weekend.
ashamed of
I
how.
watched Sex in the City, and Natalie just watched it while I happened to be in the room.
I've never watched Sex in the
Right.
City, but I have
happened to be in the room. Huh?
So
watched a
Miranda,
good amount of Greys.
crazy bitch. So whenever you were in the hospital, you're allergic to codeine, right?
No, I'm allergic to morphine.
Morphine.
Natalie's allergic to codeine.
Okay. He's allergic to. I saw a TikTok not too long where guy, his mom told him growing up, and so whenever the doctor, he go to the doctors, whatever, for what, are you allergic to anything? Doctors would found out that that's what like addicts say when they try to get something stronger than more.
What's stronger than morphine?
So I can tell you, part of my experience during that whole accident was they rushed me to the closest trauma center that was near my accident, which was Medical City of Arlington. Not a sponsor. Terrible. Hated them. 10 out of 10. Do not go. Actually, 0 out of 10. I got that backwards.
Shouldn't want to go to
They
hospital.
almost they almost killed me a couple of times actually. But while I
Nani?
yeah, I got there. One of the things about that hospital is they're a methadone clinic, so they treat, I guess, addicts and stuff like that. But methadone clinics constantly have issues with drug seekers coming in saying they're in some sort of pain, trying to get a drug stronger than morphine because they can't be on methadone. You get it. But either way, so I tell them I'm allergic to morphine, and they immediately think that I'm like a drug seeker, which made no sense to me. Like I was like, guys, I came in like via ambulance. Like I didn't just drive in. Like I'm not at this point. I'm
Your
not even
homies
wearing.
Brought me here, bro.
Yeah, like I'm not even wearing pants at this point. They had like already like cut my. It was like my favorite pair of jeans too. They cut them
Life in the
like
pieces?
from the hip. I was pissed. I was like, dude, I could have slid these bitches off, man.
Coulda let me on.
Yeah.
Get these britches down.
Yeah, man. And so yeah, that was just like a whole thing of them not believing that I was like truly in pain. Like I was there for probably a couple of hours before I got anything for my pain. And before they gave me something from it, the doctor came in and like poked around on my hip and was like, "Oh, it's probably just like a bone bruise or something like that." And then like cue narrator being like, "It was not."
It was not.
But yeah, since I couldn't have morphine, they gave me fentanyl, and that is a lot stronger than morphine. I don't know if it's
Doesn't
an all
that
hospitals
kill
thing.
people?
Yeah,
Yes,
too much.
that is the first way that I almost died when I was at this hospital. It made the pain stop literally immediately. Like they weren't even done like pushing the shit down into the IV before I was just like, oh, like I get it.
You should definitely do that like 3 times. Like,
100%.
But for that, I almost died because it slowed my heart rate and like it relaxed me so much that like I would stop breathing. Like my breathing was like on manual mode. I'd be sitting there like with my eyes closed, like trying to stay conscious, like trying to breathe, and then like I feel myself stop breathing and like slowly like drifting off to what I guess I thought was sleep, which I guess ultimately is sleep. And then I would hear, while I was doing that, I would hear my heart monitor be like beep, 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 and then my mom would be like breathe, and I'd just be like beep, 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 beep. Yeah, the second time they almost killed me was eventually once they actually got me into a room. The nurse was about to administer, I guess, like my second dose of pain medication since I had been admitted to the hospital. And she goes into like her little nurse hoodie pouch or whatever and pulls out a vial. And my mom asks like, "Oh, what are you gonna give him?" She's like, "Oh, morphine." She's like, "No, you're not. He's allergic to it." And then the nurse argues with her, and she's like, "No, that's what he got when he was in the ER." And I distinctly remember like looking at her and being like, "Nope, they gave me fentanyl. I'll take that again for sure."
And an addict was born.
Morphine. Yeah, honestly, I'm so lucky that they weren't like, okay, because that would have been awful. But yeah, they almost gave me morphine. She ended up like shuffling through all of her pockets and pulling out like a mountain of stuff, and my medicine was at the bottom. She was like, "Oh, haha, here it is."
And that's what a legal drug dealer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey man, at least you're able to start
Had it on
breathing.
deck.
So
Facts.
what? So, anybody excited for any movies?
I'm
I'm
excited
stoked for
so many
Spider-Man.
movies.
Spider-Man's probably my number one, most excited for.
I think it
would.
looks amazing. Yeah,
It looks like it has the
Yo.
potential to be the best movie Marvel has come out with ever.
Speaking of,
Hold
all
me
right,
on.
best Marvel movie in everybody's opinion. Let's go.
Captain America. Or if we're excluding Avengers, are we excluding titles?
No, anything.
Endgame.
I think
I-
that Endgame is better than Infinity
I
War,
see.
but neither are my favorite.
They're neither my favorite. I mean, definitely top.
I love the payoffs of both of those movies.
I think Infinity
Oh,
War
yeah,
is a
great,
better
for sure.
standalone love letter to like Marvel fans. There's like
my
so many
favorite-
callbacks.
True. That's why I think it's my favorite.
My favorite would have to be Thor Ragnarok. I have that.
That's
I've
my
watched
number
that-
one as well.
Yeah,
It's a
hands
very good
down.
movie.
I've watched that one way more times than any of them. It's such a perfect movie. Like the action's great, the soundtrack is great. Visually, it is such a beautiful movie.
Well, it's action and comedy.
I feel like that movie
I
wouldn't be good if it. Hot take.
I don't know. I think I
I
don't know if I
actually
agree with that because they
thoroughly- go ahead.
completely changed the vibes. Like the
Yeah.
first two Thor movies were kind of its own thing. Thor Ragnarok had to me, I got really strong Guardians of the Galaxy vibes.
I think that was on purpose.
Like, yeah,
Honestly,
I think
I-
so too. But I think that was on purpose because they were like, Thor Dark World tanked, and
the
like
worst
nobody was interested in that. And then like right after that movie, the next one that like popped off before like the other ones was Guardians of the Galaxy. So they were like, all right, well this seemed to work. And then him and Chris Pratt do have pretty good like chemistry like on screen when they interact with each other in Infinity War and
I
Endgame.
think that's one of my
And
top.
they're gonna have their own movie.
Yeah, that's one of my top scenes at the end. Where like, you all know who's in charge, right? Like, of course. It's me, right? It's like, yeah.
Yes.
So fucking.
The whole first encounter on this ship is probably one of the best
Yeah.
moments in the entire universe. Like they're just great.
He changes his
The
voice.
part where he's like, "You're not taking my ship. Are you making your voice deeper?" No, this is how I always talk.
Honestly, probably my favorite one-liner from the whole series is when he gets onto the battlefield in Infinity War and he's go like, "Oh, I see you copying my beard."
That's a good
I
one.
love that
Yeah.
scene. I don't know why.
I'm really like behind Spider-Man. The movie that I'm excited for the most is Thor: Love and Thunder, just because I think that I'm hoping the vibes are still going to be pretty similar to what they were in Ragnarok. Plus, I feel like not enough people talk about Christian Bale is going to be in that movie. And like, name a movie Christian Bale's been in that he hasn't done an amazing job in. Like,
I can tell you one that's really boring.
he's- I don't think I've even heard of that one.
He plays Dick Cheney.
Oh yeah, that sounds awful. But I
For
feel
some
like
reason,
for
I was
him that was
thinking
probably
the Jamie
more of a-
Foxx movie. He wasn't in that.
Right.
Pretty
yeah,
sure
he's
that's
gonna be-
Jamie Foxx.
Who was the guy? I can't think of the guy's name.
Isn't it? It was the guy who plays. He's in the new Batman movie. Isn't it? Colin Farrell.
It is
Colin
Colin
Farrell,
Farrell.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He's in the new Batman movie.
Yeah, he plays the
Yeah,
Penguin.
I'm
he's
super
Penguin.
stoked for the new
Another
Batman.
movie that I'm
Doesn't
super
look
stoked for.
Super stoked. Originally, I was like, "Damn, really?"
100%.
No,
I told Drew that.
now
Yeah,
I'm ready for it.
that was my first take on that. I was like, no way,
It's
Robert
also been
Pattinson,
2
a
fucking
good
years. Can we drop the
fucking
movie,
Batman.
please?
Yeah.
Well, COVID happened.
I'm fair. I was on board though. Like as soon as they announced him, like I'd seen him in enough things where I was just like, He's a good actor. I have also like I've seen all the Twilight movies, and like he wasn't the problem with those movies, and he's also openly been like I fucking hated those movies, but I needed a paycheck and I was a teenager. I was like, yeah, man, get your bag. Like I saw Tenet.
He got his bag. He
It
did.
kickstarted his career.
Before we move on from that, do you know that they tried to force him to gain weight like they did with Taylor Lautner, and he refused to do it and said he wanted to positively portray the male body?
I did not.
Yeah, they wanted him to look like Taylor Lautner, like buff and shit in
Like
the movie.
jacked.
And
Taylor Lautner was
and
jacking them.
and they're doing the same. They tried to do the same thing for Batman, and he refused. They like stopped production and put him on with a personal trainer and a dietitian. He was like, "No, I'm not going to change my physical appearance. Like this is what a human looks like."
Sounds like
right?
somebody who doesn't like
And-
to work out.
Like I get it.
Sounds like some
I
shit
get it
I
for
would say.
Edward. Like I get it for playing a vampire. Like you're thousands of years old. You're not gonna be like even if though you are at like peak physical form, you're not gonna be cut. You don't care anymore. But for Batman, yeah, Batman's gotta have some muscles.
Yeah,
man.
Batman's
Honestly,
ripped.
Ben Affleck's one of my favorite Batmans because like he put on
Facts.
30
Brawler.
pounds for that role.
I love
Yeah,
that.
but I guess to Robert Pattinson's credit as well, most of the muscles are the bat suit itself in general. So there's really that'd be like telling Robert Downey Jr., hey, you're gonna have to get jacked to play
He
Iron Man.
kind of did. Got in shape at least.
He got in
Yeah,
he got
he
in
got in
shape,
good-
but he didn't get jacked. Like he got in shape to not look out of place on screen with everybody else. But like you can't look at Robert Downey Jr. outside of his suit next to almost anybody else in the Avengers and think that they're in the same physical condition.
I would disagree with that. I would say like that a lot of the Avengers are in super peak shape, like because they're like not characters.
But I would say out of the main Avengers, he's the worst. Thor. I mean, outside of depressed Thor, Chris
That's what I'm
Hemsworth
saying
is
is like
jacked.
those are the only, I was naming the jacked
Oh.
characters.
Okay, I was
Thor,
really like-
Drax, you know.
Bruce Banner. He looks. But also, that's a
Yeah,
part of the character, I guess.
He's a-
That's
yeah,
like
he's
his
a
thing.
scientist.
Yeah, but like
Hawkeye's
Hawkeye's got a bit of like he's
got a
got an
build.
athletic build.
I would say he's
Black
he's
Widow.
achievable. Okay, now we're talking women, right?
Well, all the women are like fit.
Yeah, but we're not gonna.
Proper fit,
there's
man.
But there's like
Proper fit.
right. But yeah, like
Doctor
even
Strange.
Paul Rudd is like
No, he's
gotten in a good
not.
shape. He's never
Also-
been out of shape, but like looking at Paul Rudd and Ant-Man versus looking at Paul Rudd and like I Love You Man, that's not the same body.
Also,
Yeah,
another
I mean, you could say it about all of them.
another movie I'm looking
Chris Pratt.
stars Paul. I was excited.
I'm stoked
Pretty good.
about that movie.
Yeah.
I love. It's got the kid from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Are any of
Oh,
Stranger
yeah.
Things fans?
I've only watched the first
Yes.
season.
Have you seen the trailer for season 4?
I didn't know that was
Oh,
out.
It
part
looks
of it.
so
Check that out.
good.
I had watched it all pretty much originally when it came out, like when the seasons dropped, I binge watched it and never really gave it a second thought. But during the lockdown and when I was working from home, I was like, I need something to watch before I lose my mind. So I rewatched that entire series from like start to finish, and I went from like not caring when season 4 came out to being like, oh my god, I need season 4 already. Like it is such a good show.
Such a good show. And
I feel-
like,
when
it
did season
progresses.
3 come out? Like, no?
Yeah.
COVID.
Honestly, yeah, that's just COVID fucked everything
Yeah.
up. Like
Yeah.
me and my brother were just talking about it earlier today. Like my birthday is tomorrow, and like last year at my birthday dinner, like we didn't really want to go out because COVID was starting to like ramp up even more. So like when we went to the play. when we went to the restaurant, like there were like people in masks, and it's crazy that like a full calendar year is coming around, and like my birthday, like we're not even gonna go to a restaurant or anything like that because like don't want to be around like that many people, especially with like my dad's health issues. So it's just like yeah, it's crazy. A full calendar year went by, and I'm celebrating 2 birthdays like still in like COVID restrictions.
Crazy that it's, I mean, I feel like everybody was expecting it.
Like.
I'm not.
I don't know. I thought it would be more of like I thought it would be more of like a swine flu type of thing where like it would be an epidemic, but it would kind of be a little bit more localized, and then it would get under control pretty quick.
My mom, like, whenever the pandemic started, so whenever I got sent home from work was like March.
Of 2020. You gotta
2020, yeah.
You gotta.
And I was
you gotta
talking
do
to my
years
mom.
now, 'cause we're
I was talking to
deep
my
into
mom
it.
about I was talking to my mom about COVID, and told me, she's like, yeah, it's not gonna be, just like your every regular like week thing. Like, you're not going back to work full time. And I was like,
No.
no way. She's like, no, like they're saying like 2 to 3 million will die, and I'm like, there's no chance. I don't believe that.
Yeah,
Here we are, 18 months later.
my brother was saying he was talking to my dad, and like while my dad was watching the news, as he he was in the next room and he overheard the TV being like, new virus in China is spreading, and like going all about that, and he was like, I sat there and like thought to myself, this sounds like the first like couple minutes of like almost every zombie movie, where it's just like a new virus is spread out, and then like now people are being attacked by other strangers in the street. Like that happened, but different circumstances. But yeah, and he was just like, I'm gonna make a mental note of that to see if like anything happens with it, and then sure enough, the whole fucking world shut down.
I will say that
And a bunch of people.
that first like few, everybody speeding.
Oh, beautiful.
The period of time where I was
6 or 8 months.
when I was an essential worker and had to go
Yeah.
to work, yeah, the lack of traffic was definitely phenomenal.
Everybody was going. There ain't nobody else on the road. We got to get to work.
Cops literally aren't pulling people over because they don't want to be 6 feet near you.
This is gonna sound like a tangent, but it's not a tangent. Do y'all know the guy from The Big Short that's played by Christian Bale? Right, his name is Michael something. I can't think of his last name. The guy who made all the money off of the housing crisis.
I think.
Y'all know the
I
movie.
know who you're
y'all
talking
knew the,
about,
Y'all know
yeah.
the money, The Big Short, the movie, The Big Short.
Yeah.
Right?
Michael
I've never seen
Burry.
With Christian Bale. So essentially, what he did is he shorted the housing market because he knew that it was going to crash because they were giving out mortgages to people who didn't rate them in order to collect commissions and underwriting and things of that nature, right? So, I mean, obviously that happened a long time ago. He made a shit ton of money. He bet against the market due to the pandemic in early 2019 and made like $2.3 billion off the crash of the market in 2020.
That is
Damn.
insane.
That's gotta be some insider trading.
Crazy.
You know somebody in the government.
Speaking of just like long shot like money stuff, it's not related to the housing market at all, but I saw a TikTok yesterday that said if you would have put a $1 bet on the Braves to win the World Series the way that they won, you would have won like 25 or 26 million dollars.
That's nothing, bro. If you would put
For $1?
listen, if you would put $100 in Shiba Inu in fucking the cryptocurrency in November of 2020, you would have made $88 million.
That's
I feel like $100 to $88 million rather than $1 to $20 to.
Also,
just for like a
World
World
Series.
Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, me either. I saw
Braves winning
that-
Game 6. Yeah.
that TikTok was literally how I found
I
out
saw that
the
one.
World Series happened.
I saw that one. I was just like, is it
Like
over?
I went to I even went to the baseball subreddit to like see what was going on, and all I saw was like a pinned post about the Yankees being eliminated from the playoffs.
I feel like
so I just
sorry.
assumed it was I just like assumed that it was they are going to the World Series, and then today I saw
Did
like
you
nope, they
fact
just hit
check
the
that at
Yankees.
all?
But
The $1 to
you can do it right now.
25 million? Because like think about this. How many teams are
It was
in
like the odd. Well, no, it was
like,
the
how many teams
odds.
are in the MLB?
35.
Okay, so if I
36,
put
32.
$35 on every team at the beginning of every
It's the
season, I
odds.
have an 100% shot. That's what I'm
They
saying.
won in
It's a dollar.
six
it's the
though.
But it's
odds.
a
Like
dollar. If I
But
put
it's
a
the
dollar
odds,
on
I know.
every team,
Yeah,
that's what
maybe.
I'm saying. If I put 35,
But
like,
it's it's not just that he called
It
them
was
winning the World
specific.
Series, that he won,
like
that
he's
they
called
won
the
in Game 6.
circumstances that they won.
Yeah.
okay, so that's see, I
He
feel
called
like
them
that's-
winning and how they were going to win.
But see, that's different though. Like Eric said that the Shino Ibu bet was different. Like, if he called it exactly, not everybody can do that. I thought he just bet on Atlanta.
Right. No, yeah, he just
No, he
bet,
bet them to win
but
the
it
game.
wasn't even like that crazy of a bet. He bet if you all you would have had to do is put a $1 bet on it on the Braves to win in 6. I don't know. I guess that's a crazy statistic to somebody that watches baseball and knows like like how good teams are and shit. I don't know shit about the Braves, so
I know Jay
like
Ferguson.
like a team winning in 6 isn't like crazy to me. I feel like that's a pretty normal sports tradition of teams just like blowing out another team in a World Series type
It
event.
just seems crazy to me because, like, so you said the 35 teams, right? So if I bet on every team to win in Game 6 and Game 7, right, with those odds, it would only cost me like $500, and I have a guaranteed chance to win $25 million.
No, because the odds aren't going to be the same for every team, Kyle. So
That's what
the
I'm
Braves
saying,
haven't
though.
won a
Like,
World
What he's saying
Series.
is he's gonna
Every
hit something.
single team.
Kyle, the
Like,
odds
the
aren't
Braves
same.
were
If you
such
let me finish, my
underdogs.
man. The Braves haven't won a World Series in over 27 years, 28 years, right? So if you bet on the Yankees, right? If you put $1 on the Yankees now to win next year's World Series in 6 games, you might get a few $1,000s because the odds may be a couple thousand to one.
But how
Like,
many
The
teams-
odds
think
are
of
so
it.
astronomical.
How many teams that haven't won? Like, I can think of, in at least the last decade, the Cubs won, right?
Think of it like
and
this
That was
way,
their
like
first
a
win in 108
a,
years. Yeah.
a similar bet comparison would be like, oh, I bet that the Cleveland Browns are going to beat like who the fuck is the Browns quarterback? I almost said
Baker
Johnny
Mayfield.
Manziel. Baker, yeah, it's like saying like I think Baker Mayfield is going to throw like 5 touchdown passes in a Super Bowl to beat Tom Brady. It's like, no, that's not gonna
Yeah,
fucking
something
happen.
like
The odds
that.
of that are ridiculous. That if that happens, you're gonna get a bunch of money because no way that is gonna happen. I'm willing to take
Yeah.
your money. That's like a risk-free gamble on the bookie side.
Well, I did come across an article that has the crazy uh, betting line since hockey won back in the 2000.
That
Oh,
is,
wait,
oh, is
go
that
here.
what the movie Miracle is made out of?
That can't be the worst odds because he literally just said the worst odds were 25 million to 1 because if you bet
I don't
$1,
think that
you
was.
made
I think he
25.
might have misquoted. I can't find it.
Okay.
I feel like it's.
Yeah. No, I don't know what the
Those odds are
odds
crazy.
themselves were. I just know
Well,
that
no,
if you
if you put $1 and you won 25 million, the odds are 25 million to 1. That's how odds work.
oh well, then I guess that's
Sure, it wasn't like
I
2,500,
don't know.
25,000.
25 million.
No, it was 25 million. It was like he was like it was like some dude on the phone with like his like financial advisor or some shit. It was like a
It had to be
FaceTime
something like
live
super
or Instagram
specific, where it
live
was
thing.
like within the player.
Well, even still,
No, I
if it's
literally
odds,
think it was just the fact that they swept them in 6. Like
But none of that changes the odds. If he put $1
Well,
and won 25 million,
yeah, it
are
does. The
25
odds of them,
No,
the odds of
no,
it
but
being
the
a
way the
4-3
odds work-
series.
Look, the way the odds work, if you have a 1 in 10 odds, right, you put $1 and you win 10, right? So the only way to make $25 million off $1 is the odds to be 1 in 25 million.
Yes, but here the odds are they have like a 1 in like 25 million chance of sweeping this team
Oh, no, I'm not
6
saying
games
the
in a
odds are
row.
wrong, but I mean,
I also don't understand. I don't know how odds in like the gambling world
so
are.
odds is
based.
just a ratio, right? So if you have a 1-to-1 ratio, if you bet $1, you win $1, right? So like think of like a divide sign, right? So a 1 over 1 is equal to 1, right? So if you bet $1, you win $1, right? If you have 1 to 2 odds, if you bet $1, you win $2, right? Because it's more unlikely than a 1 in 1 bet. If you have 1 in 10 odds, if you bet $1, you win $10. But then
Right.
it multiplies, right? So if you bet $10 on 1 in 10 odds and you win $100, right? Because you multiply your 10 times 10, which is 100, right? But if you bet $1, you win 10. That's how odds work. So if he bet $1 and won 25 million, simple math states that the odds were 1 in 25 million.
math time with Kyle.
No, but I mean
that's
that's
what
just how odds work. Like that is math, but I mean
Right.
Simple
I was trying to
gambling,
see
you
if I
should
could
know how it
find the
works.
video so I can see like what the actual, because like he told the odds, but I'd be sending a lot of TikToks.
also the odds that are given to the bet and the odds of it actually happening aren't always the same, right? So like say you have a deck of cards, right? The deck of cards has 4 suits and each suit has it's 13, right? 13 numbers, right? So
Right.
if you make a bet on drawing a 2, you have a 4 in 52 odds, right? But that doesn't mean that the bookie is going to give you 452 as your odds, right? So the odds of something actually happening don't always mirror the odds of what the bookie is going to give you.
That's why I'm saying when it comes to like the line, it had to be super. Like I will say in
which
sports, no matter what sport you're playing, best of 7, coming back from 2 losses,
crazy.
essentially 4 in a row, really clinch.
Well, that's like no team in the NBA has ever come down from like a 0-3 deficit, right?
Nope, the
In a
Heat did against the
championship game.
Mavericks back in 2007. I was there for that. It was rough.
Speaking of crypto type stuff, that metaverse, I saw that the Facebook, they're rebranding to metaverse, and the currency that you're gonna have to use to like buy anything in the metaverse is gonna be like they've engineered their own cryptocurrency.
Just
It's gonna
just to
be a
clarify
very-
that, so Facebook, as you would visualize it, is not changing their name, right? So the app with the blue F, where you go
Right.
on and
Just
read
like that
conspiracy
owns
theories for
rebranding.
boomers, right? That's not changing to Meta. That's continuing to be Facebook. Like, do you know who owns Google? It's a company called Alphabet, right? So essentially, the main corporation that's going to be the umbrella
right.
is changing their name to Meta, right? But Facebook is not actually. It's so.
Right. Yeah, I didn't think they were gonna like change the
I
app
just
or
wanted to
anything like
specify that, like, so
Right.
none of that is changing, right? The corporation that runs Facebook and Instagram and all of the
Right.
other
The parent company
the
name is
parent
changing.
company is changing their name from Facebook, because that's what they originally started out, to Meta.
They'll have to send in a name change request. It'll take 3 to 5 business days from the moment we receive the request until it is updated, and there will be a $35 processing fee. Some work jokes for you guys. We do tech support. 2 of us do tech support.
That's me.
Yeah, that's fun times.
All right, I'm gonna probably.
Yeah.
Some of our topics that we have for next week.
I think-
Sure.
I feel like you should let Nathan finish his thought.
Like a natural.
That was pretty much all I really had. I think that's just something that I'm gonna be keeping an eye on, just because me and Kyle, or as Kyle knows, I'm very obsessed with the idea of like living in, or not living in it, but like having an Oasis styled
100%.
gaming platform type of thing. I've listened to so many audiobooks based off of like VR reality type stuff. So that's just something that I'm super interested in seeing how it turns out, especially with Facebook being the company to kind of really start making moves in that field.
On some real
it could-
shit, if they released a Ready Player One equivalent omnidirectional trackpad, I would
No,
sign-
first
I
off,
would-
have
let me
them.
talk about this. Let me
No,
talk about
no, they don't. No, they don't.
Yes,
Like,
they do.
Not functioning.
this.
Not fun. No, not
Yes, they-
functioning the same. No, I've seen every video. It doesn't work. That like you can't run on that.
Yes, you can. Okay, so you have you already have motion tracking
Yes.
that are affordable.
100%.
I think they're working on.
They do have haptic like gloves and chest
Yeah,
pieces.
yeah, they have
actually.
haptic. Have gloves. Kind of already. 5.
Yeah. I'm talking only the trackpad. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm getting there. You already have VR head goggles. There's already their iPhone for face tracking set up to where like motion track them out.
Well, the way that the metaverse is going to do it, they're going to have metaverse portals, and essentially it's just you stand in the middle of like 360 cameras. It takes a snapshot picture of you, digitally uploads it into whatever video game or whatever, so that way you can play like as your avatar will be you. But I also, to Drew's point, I have seen like the omnidirectional like running
Yes,
pads.
I was getting to that.
They exist. They're just like not. They're more like commercial. It's not like super feasible to have it in like your house.
But basically, what it is or either or we can put, and it's a inverted dome. Have a little. It's like an inverted dome, and then that goes like a belt that holds you. Like it has some leeway, so you can run in certain kind of picture of it.
No, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and you can
because
run in place. I've seen videos of people running in video games.
100%. Look, 100%. But have you listened to the people reviewing those?
Oh, I haven't.
I have.
I've seen a
watched
couple of the
an hour
TikToks.
and 7-minute video on this. Look, they say 100% it is not equivalent to real life walking. If you watch the clip that I'm talking
Right.
about from
I mean,
Ready
I don't
Pl-
think
no,
it's
no,
going
look,
to be,
No,
though.
it will be though. That's what I'm saying is look, the real omnidirectional trackpad, right, is a treadmill. This is already a working prototype that's not the technology is not fast enough to do what you can do in the movie, right? So it's got a normal treadmill, right, that goes forward and backwards, right? And it's made of small slivers, like imagine a tank tread, right? It's got small slivers, right? And
Like
each
strips.
one of those slivers can go left and right. Right?
If you want to look at it.
It's a small track, yeah. Drew's gonna pull it up, right?
Yeah.
So the technology is there. The mechanical technology is there, but the programming isn't responsive enough to be able to react fast enough to human movement.
Right.
You can only do slow walks, right? I know the dome thing with the slippers that he's talking about, but every review video on that says it doesn't feel like walking, right? You have to adapt the way you move to, it's almost like floating and sliding your feet. So imagine like you're sitting in a chair and you're pretending to run, right? That's what it feels like when you're using the slipper inverted.
I feel like
style.
but that's a good
Like a
place to
treadmill is
start.
not omnidirectional. It's
I'm not
linear.
saying it's a good place. It's a great place to start. I'm not saying that's not great technology. It's 100% great technology.
Like, do you think whenever
what I'm saying is that go ahead. No, if the technology where the scene from Ready Player One where he's warming up on his trackpad and he gets on it,
chopping,
and he runs right and he's chopping, if that was available right now, I would 100% sell my Chevelle to get that $20,000 fucking omnidirectional trackpad for VR in my fucking garage.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even using Ready Player One, like, you have to start somewhere. Broken had that probably because there already was way more advanced kits already that was used by IOI or one of even one of the ways that they try to entice them, like, oh, here's a brand new haptic feedback suit, you can feel the avatar touch your dick.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm not saying we're not making great progress. We 100% we're making great leaps and bounds. I'm saying we're not to the point where I'm ready to invest large amounts of money
but you
for the
need
player
investors
experience.
like you who are just like, I will fuck with
No,
the
not
alpha.
like me. You don't need it like me. You need investors like fucking Jeff Bezos.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying is,
I mean, as a consumer.
My 20 G's ain't gonna do shit except fucking give me a shit
But-
pad. Not shit pad. It's great for our reality.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you need consumers to like buy the product to show that, hey, there's money here. We invest this amount of money, we're gonna get the return.
but also that's
Those
why
things
it's
are
saying like
literally
it's
20 G's.
yeah, like it's something to keep your eye on because with Facebook being the company kind of like dipping their toe into this pool first, like if there's a company that has millions and millions of dollars to throw at something like this, it's Facebook. Like
That's Google. Tesla.
yeah, that's what it says. Like it'd have to be like
Amazon.
Facebook or like maybe Amazon or like Sony or something. But
Facebook is the only one working on virtual reality. Like
yeah,
of the
That we
Fortune
know of.
500 No, of the Fortune 500 companies was going to be the
Yeah.
Publicly.
Publicly, yeah. Publicly.
but like I'm sure depending on how successful that goes, like a Amazon versus Facebook VR thing
Would be perfect.
would be yeah, I was gonna say it would be very exciting from a consumer
Have you
standpoint.
seen the Dubai scan station? So there's a station in Dubai, right, that has, it's kind of like what Nathan was talking about, except it's like the fucking cutting edge, the laser edge of technology right now. It's a dome of sensors, like 8K sensors that will make a fucking to the centimeter perfect replication of anything that's within it. And they're literally spending 24 hours a day uploading items. They're scanning items 24 hours a
I
day
saw that.
into the metaverse so that we can have pixel perfect replications of reality in the metaverse. They're hoping to be the largest database. The way that this translates into money for them, right? So they built this prototype. I don't even know if it's classified as a prototype because they're using it like extensively. The way this transfers to money for them is what they're going to do is they're going to have the largest database of lifelike, pure lifelike, exact replicas of items from the world scanned into digital code, so that, say you want to create a video game, right, that you don't want to look like stick figures, right?
Right.
You're going to have to rent this
Like a
code
PS2
from
game.
them. You're going to have to lease this code from them so that you can get those lifelike replicas that they've scanned, right? 360 degrees, perfect, like 8K quality, whatever they're calling it,
Right.
like perfect replicas. And to put those objects in your games or in your virtual reality sessions or
Right.
whatever, right? So they're saying that they want to have the largest database of exact replicas of real life items.
You know, if
That's another thing about those portals is they were saying that like one of the things that you'll be able to do is like individually license your own character to people to like use and stuff. And I was like, that's a pretty cool way to get like passive income.
that puts like a whole
I
nother.
guess it's new. Yeah.
Well, how deep are y'all into blockchain and NFTs?
Not at all.
Bro, it's crazy.
I
We
don't
should
even know what that other thing
probably
is.
put this off until next week, because this we could talk an hour about blockchain and NFT, bro. That shit is wild.
Well, why don't we? I think we have a pretty hefty size of. You made it all the way through to the end. Congratulations! You made it to the end of the very first SpaceBar podcast. Give yourself a round of applause. Anybody want to plug anything?
No, just I appreciate everybody's coming in. Make sure you follow us. Eric's gonna go ahead and plug all of our social media right now.
Oh, right now. So we are the Spacebar, or just Spacebar Podcast on Instagram, the Spacebar Podcast on TikTok, and YouTube is coming in the link below. And yeah, it'll pop up here.
Eric, do you have any extracurricular activity podcast?
I do actually. You know, I'm a part-time streamer on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric, ERIC at PAT11.
And you can.
What
What about you?
Oh,
Drew, do you have
I'm so
anything?
glad you asked. Yeah, you can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Shinobi. The Shinobi like Star Wars, B like the word, and Shinobi like Naruto, because I'm a nerd and a weeb. Catch me there.
Righteous.
All right.
Cool.
And Spacebar Podcast, guys.
Watching,
Future
guys.
reference, you don't have to spell